Hello, Nasdaq followers, and welcome to another edition of Nasdaq Spotlight. My name is Leanne Alfaro, and we're coming to you live from New York City, where we're at Ping Identity's Identify conference. Here we're hearing from real enterprises covering identity solutions such as identity intelligence, as well as managing identity across cloud multi-platform environments. So joining me right now to talk a little bit more about it is Run May. He's VP of Global Enterprise Technology Services over at AllianceBernstein. So your company focuses on leading investment, management, and research.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit about your vision for going passwordless.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
So at AllianceBernstein, we view passwordless as one of the key components for our security strategy going forward. If you look at it historically, a large percentage of the data breaches are because of passwords, whether it's through weak passwords or phishing attempts or something along all those similar methods.
Right.
At the same time, many of our users view complex passwords that have to be rotated on a regular basis as somewhat of a burden, especially if they have many, many accounts. Can you imagine if you have to remember a complex password for your Yahoo, your Gmail, your all those different accounts? So it gets to be a point where a complex password becomes less secure, because what do people do? What do? They write it down, or they do something completely insecure, which we don't want.
Right.
So by having a secure passwordless solution, we see that as removing that user-friendly barrier, and that will allow us to apply multi-factor authentication on many, if not all the services that we provide. And really, in the long run, the more multi-factor we can apply, the more secure we see that our services environment will be for our users.
Yeah.
So,
that sounds like the ideal kind of future. You don't have to keep your passwords,
Exactly.
myriad of passwords hidden underneath your books
Yes.
or stashed away.
Yes. I'm sure you won't be surprised that we still hear those type of stories. We have like user support goes to someone's desk and like, oh, what's that sticky note I see on here?
Yep, probably not the safest place to keep it.
Yes.
Now, we were talking a little bit about this off screen, but biometrics could play a huge part in this kind of future.
Yeah, it kind of dives into the next thing as well, where we're looking at you want multi-factor, but you want it to be friendly, user-friendly.
Right.
And biometrics is one of those methods that are seen as very non-intrusive. And the more non-intrusive factors or methods you can introduce, the better adoption rate and the less resistance you see from the users. And then it will also allow us to customize as we need, right? It's no longer a one-size-fits-all solution. Like everyone must have this password, every service must have these number of factors before you can use it. We can say, well, if you're trying to access this system, then you need these number of multi-factors. However, if you are trying to access something that's more on the public domain, do you really need it? No, right? So we can start customizing solutions where if it's something high transaction, high risk, then we can adjust accordingly.
You talk a lot about ease of use and accessibility. So when you think about specifically your identity and access management, what role does user experience play?
Oh, it's a keyword, right? So having a user-friendly experience, I think will help us drive the adoption of the centralized identity and access management strategy that we're looking to implement, or in the process of implementing. So we're a financial company, so we are not the Department of Defense where all the users have been ingrained to think security first. A lot of our users would say they're not thinking security first, or they're thinking business first. What can I do to make money, and I don't want anything impeding that progress. However, as a security professional, we have to look in the other side, where we have to say, okay, we want to enable you, but we want to enable you in a non-intrusive, secure way, and the goal is to have it really continually challenge the user for their identity, but do it in the background. And in the background, they will not, if they don't realize it, they won't, it won't become an issue.
They don't have to worry about it. They can keep focusing on business.
Exactly. Let's focus on the security. To you, it should be pretty seamless as much as we can. There always going to be something to help us identify you, but those that daily intrusion should be as minimal as possible, and that's what we strive for.
That's the kind of future we want.
That's right.
Ron, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate your insight.
Well, thank you for having me.
Nasdaq followers, please stay tuned. We'll have more coming live right here from the Ping Identity Identify Conference.